Welcome to Seth's Daily Podcast. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. We have kind of a town hall type thing. We're lucky to have some people here in Zoom. It's going to ask our guests some questions. But we're blessed enough to have a Republican running for governor in the great state of Kentucky, David Cooper. How you doing, man?
Excellent. How are you, Seth?
Doing great, man. Doing
I want
great.
to welcome everyone else who's here too. Veronica, Jace, Harvey. Veronica, Jace, Marcus, and Harvey. Thanks, guys, for joining. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, definitely appreciate everybody being here. Everybody will have the opportunity to ask questions, many questions they want to. And the question I got for you is very simple. What made you decide to run for governor?
Well, before we get started, I want to let everyone know that from the very beginning, I'm not going to suck up to people. I'm not going to use buzzwords to fool you guys and say exactly what you want to hear. I would never ask the people to do something that I haven't done or that I wouldn't be willing to do. I mean, that's the very definition of a leader. I'm not going to have an answer for everything. I've been doing a lot of research on a lot of things, but I'm not going to have an answer for everything. In fact, some of my answers might piss you guys off, but it's not, it's more because of what's going on. Like if I'm sure the pension's going to get brought up, right? Yeah, everyone wants to know about the pension, what's going on with the pension. So that's basically a few things I wanted to get out. But the main reason I'm running is because I'm an experienced leader and I've been proven on and off the battlefield in my civilian jobs. People say they want someone relatable. I had 3 jobs this summer. And because there's a lot of people that's got 3 jobs right now, barely get to see their families, they're just trying to make ends meet. I have an associate's degree from a community college. Very proud of that. I'd rather go to a bar over a steak dinner, and have to mess with people and try to impress them, and screw that, man. I'd rather go to a bar and just have fun with people, not trying to impress them. But I'm tired of career politicians. I'm tired of millionaires and billionaires thinking their wealth means they should be in charge. I'm tired of all the fighting. And really, those 3 things, I can go up to anyone on the street and they'll give me the same 3 answers. They're tired of the fighting. They're tired of career politicians, and they're tired of these millionaires, billionaires thinking they're in charge. I want to serve. If I don't win, then I hope to continue serving in the Kentucky Guard for another at least 17 years. I've got 22 and a half years in now. I want to get at least 40 in if I don't make governor. So I love serving. It's where my heart is.
Definitely. And people want to ask some questions. Marcus, I'll unmute you so you can ask some questions for our Republican candidate for governor.
Okay, thanks for having me. I guess if I had one, I'd have several questions, but my main concern would be what is your stance with how Senator McConnell is kind of caving to the Democrats' will, and just it's almost like he's not Republican anymore, or hasn't been for a while. Seems like he's giving in to all the notions that anything the Democrats come up with, he's all for it. So I'm conservative, very conservative actually, and I believe that this wasteful spending and things like that could be used more in our state, on a state level, and in our nation, rather than going everywhere else and everybody else.
So the question is, do I support McConnell? Would that be about right?
Yeah.
No, I do not. And Mr. Dieters, who's also lives up here in Northern Kentucky, Kent County resident. Actually, we live like 10 minutes away from each other. He constantly is telling me or telling everyone on his website that he's the only person who does this. He's the only person who does that. He's the only one against McConnell. All the other candidates aren't. Yeah, I don't have it on my website because, I don't have the budget to change my website every couple of days.
Yeah.
I've never been asked on my Facebook group, which I have. It's simple. David Cooper for Kentucky governor. If you go to my website, Cooper 4KY, and that's spell it all out, Cooper4KY.com. You can click on the Facebook link there and go to it as well. But I don't have the funds to change my website every day. But no, McConnell's been slipping, and he's been falling hard. And yeah, he's been siding with Democrats a lot lately, and he doesn't even. When it comes with Trump, man, I'm just more worried about Kentucky than I am about with Trump stuff. But I know a lot of things people are saying that he hasn't been backing Trump or he doesn't want anything to do with Trump anymore. Dude, I don't care who wants to do or what not to do with Trump. Just I'm more worried about the state. I don't care about Trump's opinion. I don't care about your opinion on Trump. I don't care about anyone's opinion on Trump. I care about the state. And that's what I want to work on. And as for your question, like I said, no, McConnell is not doing the job that we voted him for up there, for one. And two, he's been up there too long anyway. He gets a new staff every couple of years. So his reach in Kentucky politics and really national federal politics is absolutely absurd. I mean, think about it. He gets a new staff every couple of years. So you really got to look. Some of that staff goes national to other places, and some of it comes back here into Kentucky. So you got to think of him as the trunk of a tree, and his people that go national, federal, they're the branches and stuff. And the people that come back here to Kentucky and do his bidding, they're like the roots and stuff. So yeah, I'm not a fan of McConnell, and I'm not afraid to say that. And I don't support the crap that he's doing or voting on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Did I answer it? Because I don't want to be one of them people that don't answer your question.
Oh yeah. You spot on there. If you get time, can you kind of address the infrastructure, especially like with Eastern Kentucky and the flooding and everything? There's a lot of roads been damaged and stuff. And I know
if you care if I go ahead and answer.
They can ask as many questions as they want to.
Okay. So I was going to get into this a little bit later, Marcus, but it's cool that you brought it up now. So today I actually talked to, do you know what's going on in North Carolina, Marcus, with their taxes and stuff?
No, not necessarily. No.
Okay. They, over the next, let's see, this is 2022, so next 23. So we'll just say 7 to 8 years. They are getting rid of taxes for businesses. Now, Governor Roy Cooper, he just signed a budget for nearly $26 billion. It's given pay raises for teachers and state employees. It's given broadband expansion funding, increases to income tax deductions, and increases in a rainy day fund. But the biggest reason why they can do all that is because, one, their pension is in phenomenal shape. But what they're doing is, over the next 7 to 8 years, they're going to slowly get rid of taxes for businesses. That's including small businesses. Now, this is a good thing for a couple of reasons. One, legislators like to use that as a bargaining tool, bargaining chip. So if we can slowly get rid of state taxes for businesses, we don't have to worry about legislators doing under the table shady stuff, and we'll be able to actually, Kentucky will be like an exclusive club to where businesses are lining up to come into Kentucky, and then we can tell them, yeah, you're welcome to come in here and start your business or bring your business to Kentucky, but we need you in Eastern Kentucky, because we got a lot of good folks down there don't have any jobs. We need you to go down into Western Kentucky, because Western Kentucky is mostly agricultural, and you're an agricultural company, and we need, again, have a lot of good people down there that need some jobs. As for your roads and whatnot, I mean, that's your city council and your county seats that need to be working on that, and talking to the Department of Transportation and the Kentucky, I forgot the acronym, Kentucky Roads. I can't remember the acronym, but I was down there during the flooding. I was the only candidate, and I'm not asking for a pat on the back. I'm not asking for a thank you. I was the only candidate down there, though, for 3 weeks. I stopped my campaign. I halted my whole life to go down there, because I felt that was more important than anything else in the world. So I've seen the devastation. I've got pictures on my phone. Actually, man, I got one picture it's so trippy. There's a old railroad line that was next to a creek that was next to an old road, and the ground washed out from underneath the railroad. So it's, like I said, you got to see the picture. It's just trippy. But I've seen the people's bridges that cross these creeks. They're gone. It's like a lunar can. Someone just picked it up and just twisted it and tossed it off to the side. It was absolutely horrible. And then the ones with who lived in campers or trailers that were, God, 30, 40, 50 years old, they're just gone. And I'm pretty sure I just saw a news article that said something that there's still people down there without homes 5 months later. That's absolutely ridiculous and uncalled for. Even if the military were to just set up, I don't know if anyone here, Harvey, Veronica, Jace, or you, Marcus, or Seth, I don't know if any of y'all been in the military, but in Kuwait, there's a place called Tent City. It's basically a staging point before you go other places in the world over there in the, Middle East. But it's called Tent City. And God, I know tents aren't necessarily cheap, but they aren't necessarily expensive neither. So I don't see why we couldn't have a tent city in Eastern Kentucky right now to help, people without homes right now who are living with relatives, which, as a relative, you want to help your family and your friends, but after a while it becomes a burden. I mean, sometimes, because some people don't get along, or they get along, they just can't live together. There's a big difference with that. I'm sure everyone understands what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for and I'm going to tell you right now, Marcus, go to my Facebook group, and one of them, there's a video of the Brent Spence Bridge that's getting ready to be built in the next 10 years up here in northern Kentucky. That's not just a golden triangle thing that we're getting up here. It's actually an incredibly important piece of infrastructure for this whole part of the United States, from Florida all the way up to Canada, actually. So a lot of funds what I'm getting to, though, is a lot of funds is going to be going to that as well. And supposedly they've been saving for this for the last couple of years. But I I saw your guys' roads down there after the flood, and if they look like that after the flood, I can only imagine what they look like before the flood. So
Thank you.
again, if I don't answer your question, just say, hey, you didn't answer the question.
Yeah, you're good. You're
Okay.
good.
I just, like I said, I don't want to be one of those damn politicians that
Adding that other stuff in there. I work at a hospital, but I'm also a volunteer fireman. I work
well,
at
hey, thank you for your service, man. I mean, that's important.
Oh yeah. Thank you too. But I'm a supervisor at the soil conservation office. I do a lot for the community, try to help, not toot my own horn or anything, but I'm like you, I just try to help be a servant, do whatever I can. And, I get out here and I see all this stuff, and I saw so much, disappointment, in FEMA and, just county governments in general, holding off and just not helping people. And it just seems like, it just seemed like nobody cared really.
I'll tell you
and-
one thing that really pissed me off was emergency management, the person who can be in charge, that is assigned to by the judge executive of the county. And that could be their best friend, or that could be an actually highly qualified person, which in my book should be the highly qualified person, not the best friend who needs a job because he's been down on their luck for 3 months.
Right.
I'm not going to say what county I was in for the 3 months. It might slip out between now and, or it may have already slipped out, or it may slip out between now and May. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the county I was in, the emergency manager got pissed me off something awful, because when I was trying to get a hold of him because of a really important question, I couldn't get a hold of him because he was so far up the governor's butt, who was just happened to be in the area at that time, that no one could get a hold of him. So I had to make an executive decision. But you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it's my opinion that if it wasn't for churches, and if it weren't for volunteer fire departments, and and especially initially the National Guard, of course, that first 30 days was imperative that we had the Guard, but since that time, it just seems like that we didn't volunteer our service, and we have people donating all this stuff from out of state, and we're distributing that stuff ourselves, taking care of our people on our own time. And it just seems like there's no government, any kind of local government cooperation there too. And it just seems like there's a system that's broken down there that could be fixed, that there could be in a disaster, a more long-term fix for that, and not just to rely, but to be accountable, like the governor steps over here and says, in Knott County, like where Seth's from and where I'm from, and all these, hey, what are you doing for your people? How can we help? What can, and have a system. It was just total chaos. And I know it was massive, but it seems like that, especially where I'm in the fire service, that those disasters are going to happen more and more. And we probably need to step up and try to prepare for those kind of things, and not leave
rainy day fund. So, I agree. And I'm sorry to cut you off there, Marcus. So I talked to a lot of FEMA people, and I've got a lot of fire department friends and police friends. And the FEMA guys, I talked to, and I was like, look, I won't use your all's names, but how would you all rate Kentucky's response to this? And 1 being bad, 10 being great. And they said about 2 or 3. But in our defense, every state gets about a 2 or 3, because no one really handles things very well. The only state that handles one particular natural disaster really well is California. And that's when it comes to forest fires. They have a written authority basically saying that if you live in a forest fire area and you got a pool, they can take your water from that, and just other things in that written authority. God, I can't tell you how many different volunteer fire departments I delivered water to. Some of them was like, Coop, we can't take anymore, man. You're gonna have to take it to blah blah blah. And churches, we had we had these one nice ladies, super nice ladies. They flagged us down, and they were like, hey, have y'all ate yet? I'm like, no. And they said, well, follow us. We're at this church right down the road. We got food for you. So and that happened a couple of times, but just that one time just really stood out for me. But they brought us out, a feast. It was a feast. And, I've always said, even from the tornadoes in Western Kentucky, Kentucky has a bunch of honorary citizens, but by golly, when something like this happens, we come together and we don't wait for FEMA. We start working right away.
Yeah, we have a lot of people. Their true colors of kindness and compassion and charity and all that came out in this flood, and it just it made life a lot easier for with those people, those pastors, and all those volunteers.
Yes, sir. Seth, I don't know how much time you got, but I think I got a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I got till about 9:30 in the morning, just to let you know.
All right. Appreciate you asking them questions, Mark.
Thanks, Marcus.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Sorry, somebody was coming through.
No, you're good.
Yeah. But anybody, Harvey, you got any questions? Let me put Harvey on unmute.
I'm on back here. I lived in we lived in the county flooded, I always, to me, it was like just somebody unloosed the Mississippi River came right through it. But what I'm going to say, all these years, we're known as East Kentucky coal mines, and then the Severn, about the coal Severn, Texas. And I really think a lot of these coal Severn taxes, should come back to those counties more than what they should have, because I feel over the years, the coal Severn taxes, I think we made low elections than what they are. I mean, I believe it would help us a lot more if we really got most of it back. That's my opinion, because I think the counties that really produces those coal really deserve that money. What's your opinion on that?
Yes, sir.
What's your opinion on coal service tax money really should come back to those counties that really put it out? I mean, I think over the years, Eastern Kentucky has really helped the rest of the state, and Western Kentucky coal mines too, has really helped this state. I think you probably know what I'm talking about, because I think it would have helped if we got a lot more back that we really deserve. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I live up here in Northern Kentucky, so I don't really know. I know that a lot of coal mines have been shut down and stuff because of the Democrats and whatnot, which I don't want to, I'm saying that I'm a bipartisan candidate, so I don't want to put blame anywhere, but you got to put blame where blame's due. But at the same time, I also want to be able to work together. And but different policies, mainly from them, though, I know have done a lot of damage to the Kentucky coal mines. I've been to Eastern Kentucky and I've been to Western Kentucky. A lot of small towns that just aren't what they used to be because of that. Now, what you're saying is the money from that coal got allocated to, you're saying Lexington and Louisville, and probably a little bit of Northern Kentucky, probably. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Is that what you're saying, sir, Harvey?
Yeah, that's all right. I'm not worried about that. I mean, I'd like to see you all get help too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due, and you got to reward the people who actually put the time, money, and their health in. So yeah, Eastern and West Kentucky both have fell on hard times because it seems like everyone's forgotten about them. And one of a lot of things that I want to do, like I said, with this getting rid of the state tax for businesses is once, and again, we can't just do that like that. That's going to take a long period of time, about 5-10 years. Like I said, North Carolina's taken 7 to 8 years, and they're going to work their state business tax down to zero. But once we initiate that, businesses will start coming, and we'll be able to start sending businesses to Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky, which will bring income to that parts of the state. And then it will bring, you guys a little more wealth than what you got now. But I do have something that's been on my board of stuff to not erase. I know for a fact Eastern Kentucky has a lot of internet problems. Y'all got a lot of internet problems. Would that be accurate, Seth?
Mine's
Absolutely.
terrible right now. It goes in and out.
Yeah, we have the worst internet by far, man, and that's actually my plan. Possibly in 2 years, I'm exploring running for state representative. So that would be one of my top priorities is getting not all of Eastern Kentucky broadband internet access
Yep.
to broadband.
Yep. And I mean, it's not like that we can't make the towers not, what's the word I'm looking for, man? Look like the surrounding environment. If you go out to California, and you don't even have to go out to California, you can Google this. Their cell phone towers look like palm trees and pine trees. So they can go up just about everywhere and just look like natural environment. Now, I don't know I've heard that, cell phone towers put out a lot of radiation. I don't know that aspect part of it, but we can I don't see why we can't get Eastern Kentucky hooked up with the type of internet that I have. But Harvey, I mean, the only way to get you guys to get Eastern and Western Kentucky back to where it used to be is either opening up the coal mines, open them back up, or getting businesses down there where you guys are at and, going from there.
Hey, you're probably going to laugh at my next question. Let's do something about the gas because you probably know more than I do.
Beano.
Electric
If
cars.
you use Beano, there'll be no gas.
Electric cars is not going to work.
So, what's your question about the gas bus? Sorry, I was just having a little fun.
We need to get it down to where it's affordable.
Oh, yeah. So
electric cars is out.
Yeah, actually, I don't know about you guys down there, but just the other day I paid $274, and I hated it, but I was thrilled at $274.
Yes.
One thing that I probably would have done a little sooner, Bashir did do it, but I probably would have done a little sooner, is I would have, nixed our state taxes on fuel there for a little bit. I mean, people need to understand that doing that has consequences down the road. A lot of people just want instant satisfaction, instant gratification, and they don't think about the stuff that happens later on down the road. But where were you guys' gas at? We were pretty close to 5 up here.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty close. It was over 4.
Yeah. So yeah, in some parts of the state, I'd be ditching the the state gas tax until we can get it back down, which I don't understand. I got this app called Gas Buddy, and I had to use it the other day. From where I live to where I work, it's like 30 something miles, 30, 35 miles. And it shows me all the gas stations and their prices from here to there. Within 10 minutes of each other, there was one for $3.49, and there was a gas station that had it for $2.89. I don't understand that aspect of it. How can it be 50, 60 cents difference 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from each other? I don't understand that aspect of it.
I agree with you on that.
I mean, I'm sure there's a formula out there somewhere that explains it, but I don't know. But yeah, the only thing that really the governor can do, because we don't, the state doesn't touch the barrels prices and oil and stuff. That's a global economy market type thing. But the thing that we could have done is halted the gas tax, nixed it for a couple, about a month or so. that would have hurt us down the road because that gas tax goes towards roads. And, you know, your first, one of your first questions was about the roads, but people want instant gratification. They want stuff done now, and they don't think about stuff down the road. So
Well, I was
no
gonna tell
pun
you,
intended.
I was gonna tell you, my brother, he retired from the state. He worked for the state garage, you know, he was in that business. And he said a lot of people don't realize there's a whole lot of paperwork and red tape that you have to go through to get something done. Yeah, I mean, it starts at what you want. He said he has to go to this person, then the next person, finally go to the next person before he could get it.
Well, yeah, he's not kidding. I mean, if someone at his level wants something, especially from legislation, he's got to like, hey, look, I need this to happen. And then that legislation person has to create a bill or whatever. And then it has to go through 3 different voting procedures. Am I right, Seth, on that? It has to go through 3 different like committees or before it can even go to the floor. And then even so after that, whether it's the Senate or the House, it's got to go to the other one to get voted. So, I mean, yeah, something at his level, I mean, it's almost impossible unless it's something, a really good idea or something that they really need.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to jump through a lot of hoops to get anything done. And you know, if the legislation, and I'm not just talking about state level legislation, I'm talking about county level, city level, if they would just do what was right for the people and would just, you know, I understand the need for democracy to vote and stuff, but if they would just do what's right for the people, well, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now. People being divided and families being divided. It's sad.
Well, if you're running for governor, you can't do it all by yourself. They got to help you. I mean, it's simple as that. They got to help you.
Yeah, you're right. And someone says, I've been asked, you know, what's one of my weak points? And I say delegation. I want to do freaking everything. And I realize that I can't do that, but that's been an NCOER comment on all my reviews in the military for I don't know how many years. It's like, Cooper, you've got to learn to delegate. You got to let people do their job. And it's not so much that I don't trust them to do their job. It's either A, I don't want to bother them with it because it's, I don't know, little stuff, or B, it's just like, well, I can do this. It's really quick. I'll just do it real quick and it'll be done right. And I'll know it'll be done right. But no, you're right. I know that as governor, I can't do everything. I am going to need some help. So, and I want to work with Republicans, Democrats, Independents, liberals, everybody. I want to work with everyone.
Definitely, man. Thanks, Harvey, for the questions. I see you muted yourself.
Thanks, Harvey.
So, Veronica, I know you had some questions. I'll unmute you.
Good evening, Veronica.
Hello. So I have first go back to Marcus. I think accountability is a huge thing, especially in the local communities. I mean, I live in Eastern Kentucky as well, and we had large sums of money just flow into this area. I work in Owensboro. I know at that facility alone, we raised probably close to $1 million, and where it went,
Wow.
you know what? Who the hell knows? I have no clue where it went. So I think holding people accountable is a big thing at local level, state level, and need to be a federal level as well. That's just a comment. My questions, number one is your take on education. So I'm a fan of school choice and parent choice, and I'd like to have your take on that. I think a lot of, especially in these more larger areas like Louisville and Lexington, the education systems have just crumbled pretty much. A lot of indoctrination and CRT learning, and my kids currently homeschool because of this reason. So I'd like to have your take on that. And the second question is concerning medical freedom and choice concerning COVID. We saw the governor, you know, he was praised a lot by many, not so much by me, for his actions with COVID. In the healthcare field, you either got vaccinated or if you did get an exemption, you were pretty much demonized and
Oh, yeah.
looked like you didn't want people to live, or you lost your job.
Yep.
I think that's very unfortunate, and I'd like to have your take on that, and if it come down to that again, where you would stand on those recommendations.
All right. Well, excellent questions. I'm not just saying that to sound like a politician. I'm going to answer your second one first. I had to get my vaccination to continue serving in the Kentucky Army National Guard. I was extremely pissed off about it. When you first join the military, you know, there's everyone knows, most people know, you know, back in the day, that we're talking 20 years ago and beyond, you know, they would cram people in a room. You would drop your drawers just a little bit to get that fatty part of your butt, and doctors would come around and just jab you with stuff.
Yep.
But it was stuff that's been around for a while, been tested, proven, and all this other stuff, things. You know, I would have been. Oh, and then if you like go to Africa, or if you go to Iraq or Afghanistan, you get the local stuff that in the arm that's high there. I would have been fine with getting my COVID vaccine, and mandatory wise, like 5 years from now, 5 years after the whole COVID thing, just because, again, I'm in the military. I know what we have to do. I know what we have to go through. But after 5 years, I think we would know a lot more of how it was doing things, if it was, you know, healing people, if it was preventing people from getting COVID. All these vaccines that we got now and the boosters, they've not done crap. I mean, people still get COVID, but it's not as bad. You know, okay, it's not as bad, but
How do you know that? How do they?
exactly, it's not as bad. How do we know that that person's natural immune system didn't prevent them from getting COVID worse than the guy? And that was another thing. People dying from, you know, stage 4 cancer, and hospitals were saying, "Oh, well, it was COVID."
Yep.
The stage 4 cancer was a secondary problem. He died of COVID, or she died of COVID. No, I don't agree with that at all. But they did that because they got more money if they had people pass away COVID related.
Yes.
So I'm friends with the same lady, nice lady. I won't put her name out, but she asked me to take that political quiz. She is really against mandates and lockdowns. She's really worried about that. And I've got to assure her, I know about probably once a week, and I don't mind doing it, that I would not put out a mandate. I would not put out a lockdown in Kentucky. And, you know, if the federal government was saying, well, you have to do it, I'd tell them, okay, well, you guys can do it after you pry Kentucky out of my cold dead hands. You know, this is my state right now, and I'm going to do what I can to protect my people. And I'm going to do what's right. And mandates and lockdowns is not one thing that's right. You know, Bashir locked down churches and small businesses. He locked down churches and small businesses. Who in the hell, I asked, and, you know, I need to make this perfectly clear. This is Citizen David Cooper talking, not Sergeant First Class Cooper talking. But as Citizen David Cooper talking, you know, I was asking, who the hell does he think he is locking down churches? I can't go to my church. I can't worship my God. But, you know, we evolved, and we have church on the computer during the time. So, you know, I was thankful for that. I could still, you know, go to church that way. But to answer your second question, no vaccine mandates, no lockdowns. The most that I would have done was I would have asked businesses to have masks, gloves, and hand sanitizer at the front of their store as a option for people to use when they came in. But that's about it. And, you know, just, we all know masks don't work. I mean, that has been proven. But
Yep.
peace of mind for some people. I still see people in masks. But that's about as far as a mandate that I would have done. Just, hey, businesses, y'all got to have this at the front of the store, and you don't have to make people use them, but you got to have them there for the people who do want to use them. How's that so far?
Good. I like that.
Okay, not just telling you what you want to hear. Now, I don't know. I don't know if you see. I think you came on a little late. You didn't get to hear what I had to say at the very beginning. I'm not going to suck up to anyone, and I'm not going to say buzzwords that and say the things that you want to hear. In fact, I'll probably piss you off a little bit because of the truth of what's going on right now.
Well, I like honesty. So your honest answer is what we want to hear.
Exactly. And
Whether
I'm a normal citizen just like you. This is my first campaign. I'm a blue collar worker. I am a Kentucky Army National Guardsman, and I'm bipartisan, which means, I want to work with everyone, and I want to be, as the governor, I want to be the most transparent governor Kentucky's ever had. I mean, if y'all want my bank account on the governor's page in the lower right corner, I will do that because I don't care. I don't have anything to hide. I have nothing to hide. So yeah. All right. Your first question. CRT, from what I have been told, because I've not seen it in my kids' schools, from what I've been told, it's not being taught in K through 12 in Kentucky. It is a college level course. Now, some new teachers over the last several years who graduated from college and is now teaching in Kentucky might be using some parts of their CRT classes when they were in school. They may be using some of that as they teach whatever class they're teaching. And if that's the case, then no, that needs to be nixed right now, because CRT is supposed to be a college level course. It's not supposed to be taught K through 12. When it comes to schools, I am against CRT being taught K through 12. It's a college level course. I am against Common Core math because I felt absolutely horrible when I couldn't teach my kids. Like, they're like, no, Daddy, we got to do it like this. And I'm like, no, if you just do it like this, the way that we were taught when we were in elementary school, they're like, no, Daddy, we can't do it like that anymore. And it's okay, well, can you explain it to me? They're like, no, that's why I came to you. So it's a real pain in the butt. So those two things out. There's a lot of stuff with schools right now. I mean, school can be a subject in itself with a lot of little branches. One of them being, transgenders. I'm not for mutilation of children. When you're 18, you're considered an adult. So if you want to start taking hormonal drugs, if you want to get surgery at 18, that's your body. Do what you want to do. And that goes wholly with vaccines. It's the same book. Do with your body what you want to do with it. I would be totally open, though, to having to helping create a, you got men's sports, you got women's sports. I'd be totally open to helping create a transgender league, just because people are going to be who they want to be, and no one should stop them from that. I don't agree. I don't want to say I don't agree. I would never do that to my body. I would never sleep with another man. But that's people's lifestyles. As long as they don't push it on me, as long as they don't push it on other people, live your life. You treat people with respect, they're going to treat you with respect. What else goes with schools right now? Teachers and guns. I have a mother-in-law who's retired. I have an aunt who's retired. I live next to two teachers, neighbors. I could throw a rock and hit their house right now. two of my favorite people in the world, they don't want guns in schools. Their friends who are I got a friend in Pelham County. He don't want guns in schools. They're perfectly happy with having SROs. There's like maybe a handful of people. When I say a handful, I literally mean a handful of people in this state that don't like SROs. And I can tell you right now, they say their name, John Smith, D. I've not met one Republican that don't like SROs. And I don't know if you know SRO, school resource officer,
Right.
but teachers don't want guns. They shouldn't have guns. The SROs, they're doing a fantastic job throughout the state. And, they're cops who get assigned to that, or that's just it is. They're cops and they get assigned to that duty position. I know one of my candidates, one of the other campaign guys, they want to put veterans and retirees outside schools with guns. And at first I agreed with that, because I'm like, oh, hell, I would do that. I want to do that. I want to protect our kids. I want to do this. After talking with a couple of SROs, and a little sidebar on that, I do all my own research. I don't have a campaign group of people. I do all my own research so that when someone asks me a question, I can say, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't have someone whispering in the back all the key points. And when, someone throws me a curveball about the topic, I'm like, I'll get back to you on that. I do all my own research. I do all my own interviews, and SROs, they tell me that I can't go into too much detail what they said when it comes to their procedures, but they have ways, and the training that they go through is absolutely phenomenal. My SRO, the guy he asked me not to use names, so I won't use the names, but he said that plenty of SROs, when I say fail the training, I don't want you to think we have people who are, SROs who failed the training in our schools. The scenarios are really complicated and they are really tough. And sometimes they will fail a scenario when I say that when they fail, because every scenario is different. Every incident's different. There hasn't been one school shooting that has been the same. Now, it sucks that we even have to have SROs. It sucks that we even got to talk about this subject. Back in the day when my grandpa was in school, they used to have target practice inside the schools in the hallways. They block off the hallway and, hey, don't go through here unless you get shot. And they would practice in the hallways. And when I was in school, I know that I saw a lot of my farming buddies who had their guns in the back of their truck. Perfectly normal. We weren't freaked out. We weren't afraid that one of them was going to get pissed off and run out and get their gun and come back in and shoot everybody up. Kids these days, it's a lack of discipline from the parents, and it's not just the parents who don't care. It's not just it's not the kids from parents with broken homes. This goes deeper than that. This goes into, parents who have jobs, 2 or 3 jobs, and they're just not home. They're trying to make a living, and they don't get to discipline their kids the way they should. They don't get to hang around and do stuff for their kids like they want to do. They're just trying to make a living. And the kids tend to, go on the back burner, and the discipline goes on the back burner. So let's see. CRT, Common Core, teachers with guns, transgenders. Anything else on school stuff?
What about like teaching of sexual education, the transgender teaching of that stuff? Like Jefferson County Schools is one that I think of commonly. I'm part of a group. Like I said, I homeschool my kids.
It's a Democrat county and city.
currently, and I know a lot of it has to go back to the local level. It goes back to the local school board and stuff like that. But like, what's your take on that? Would you completely kind of outlaw that kind of teaching in K through 12 as well, like statewide? Is that something you would be able to do or would be interested in?
Unfortunately, kids these days learn about sex in 7th, 8th grade, sometimes 6th grade. It's absolutely, it's horrible. I hate it. So, and as I was saying earlier, you do have the parents out there who they're not home. They're not home enough because they're working, trying to make ends meet, and the kids, they don't get that love, support, discipline, and teaching that you're supposed to get from your parents. The birds and the bees being an example. So I would be fine with having sex ed taught. I feel like 7th grade's too late, but I feel like 6th grade's too early. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it's like, where do you do it?
But definitely not in their kindergarten, first, second grade.
Absolutely not. And especially not transgender stuff and those. No, God, no. And I say God, no, not because, oh my God, transgender person, ew, no, not that at all. Kids need to be kids. Kids need to learn how to read, how to write, how to do arithmetic, and they need to go out and get bruises from jumping off the swings and playing kickball and getting in fun stuff, going through the woods, and they don't need to be learning about, at K through 6, they don't need to be learning about that stuff. And, really, really, Veronica, and I know this is a double-edged sword. It's the other side of the coin. It's whatever you want to say. These parents they got 2 or 3 jobs and they barely have time to spend at home with their kids, let alone go to a PTA meeting or a city council school board meeting. But that's what we need too. We need more parents going to these school council meetings, these PTA meetings, school board meetings, and speaking up on behalf of their kids.
You're right.
But people don't want to hear that, Veronica. People don't want to hear, oh, what? It's my fault? They don't want to hear that.
Yep. They have to take responsibility again. Responsibility,
Yes,
accountability. So, yes, I appreciate you for answering
Yes,
those
ma'am.
questions.
Absolutely. Now, like I asked Harvey and Marcus, do you feel like I answered your question to the fullest, or did I beat around the bush or anything? Or
No, you done good. Thank you.
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hey, I gotta ask you one more question.
Who is that, Harvey?
Do you need a lieutenant governor candidate?
What's that?
Do you need a lieutenant governor candidate? I'll run with you.
I have someone in mind. It might blow a lot of people's minds away, but I'm keeping that under lock and key until I win.
You talk about that CRT. Me, you both. You said you both. We go to church. We're Christians. They need to teach the kids. I'll tell you what. When I was a senior in high school in 1980, every classroom had the 10 Commandments on the wall, and they even taught it in school. If they would teach the kids,
I pledge allegiance to the flag every morning.
and if they would teach the kids how to be a human and tell the kids they're human, we're all alike. You both read the Bible. Only race hit missions in the Bible is Paul said, "I run the race." He doesn't mention anything about the color of anybody's skin or whether they're a boy or girl. We're all humans.
Well, I mean, being in the military, all we see is green. Well, it's what a lot of people see. I mean, there is some racism in the military. I mean, you're not going to stop. I would love to be able to wipe racism off the earth, but the majority of the military we're all brothers and sisters. We only see green. You're there in the trench with me. You might as well be blood.
That's the way it
We-
should be.
And that's the way it should be. Yes, sir.
But it ain't gonna it's not, we're not gonna have, it's not never gonna be like that though,
And all these
As
people.
long as we live.
No, it won't. Not anymore. Never again. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to, I know civilian world, and I know, at my job, and I know as a elected official, you can't run things like you do in the military, but you can still have the core values and you still have the core beliefs, and you can impress that onto other people. You really, really can.
Me, you was talking to that woman, Veronica, you was talking about COVID, and I got a friend, she was a nurse in school for about 30 years. She told me, whatever you do, don't take the shot. And I still haven't taken it because she said your immunity was pretty good, and we watch a lot of stuff. But and then I read a woman said she took the COVID because she didn't want to give it to her grandchildren because she knows she wasn't going to die from it. And me personally, men, for a fact, we have no clue when we're going to take our next breath. Because we're just a vapor. I mean, they cannot.
We are not promised tomorrow.
That's right. They can't guarantee nothing. So I mean, that's just my opinion. It's the truth.
Yeah,
And
it's the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the truth.
So, yes, sir.
I'd love to hear your opinion on things. That's what it should be for.
Yep.
And you ought to get on the mid-set, pick a few football games one of these weeks. Do the Super Bowl weekend with us.
Let's see, Super Bowl weekend. Man, I'm going to tell you what, it seems like every Super Bowl weekend I got military duties, and I got to either A, miss it, or B, rush home to catch the last half. But, it's whatever.
I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan.
I am a local fan. I'm a Bengals fan. I'm a Reds fan. I'm a UK Wildcats college football, college basketball fan. And I'm not just saying that. I got my okay, I got to go get it. Give me 1 second. I got to show you this.
Jace, you can go ahead and unmute yourself as well. And
Harvey, this is a Santa's hat from McDonald's from 2003 that I still wear. So, I am a UK fan. I bleed blue. But now, here's the one thing about me when it comes to sports. I just root for the home team. I couldn't tell you 5 players who plays on the team, on any team. Maybe 1 or 2, but I just root for the home team.
Yeah, that's the way it is everywhere.
thanks, Harvey.
Thanks, Harvey.
Okay.
All right, Jace, you can go ahead and ask your questions.
All right, this is Lisa Sloan. I'm using my son's iPad.
Hi, Lisa. Good evening.
Good evening. I'd first like to say thank you for your services.
Absolutely. I love serving, man.
My son's also in the National Guard.
Where at?
He is in the Hazard Guard.
In the hazard. Okay.
My biggest thing is that I want somebody in there that's going to stand for our constitutional rights.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Our gun rights, our freedom of speech. And Veronica's already covered most of what my concerns with my child.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry. I said good evening to you, but you said your name's Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, Lisa, whenever you hear a politician talk, we'll say a Republican politician talk, and they're introducing themselves, what are usually the first 3 things they say?
I don't know.
That they're a Christian, that they're pro-life, and they're pro-gun.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to sound like a cookie cutter politician, but that's if you go to my website, cooperforky.com, cooper4ky.com, and you go down to the issues, you're going to see my Second Amendment issue is if you can afford an A10 Warthog, which I don't know if you know what an A10 Warthog is. It's basically it is a school bus sized Gatling gun, and a plane is built around it. I said that if you can afford that, you can afford a pilot's fee and the fuel and the ammunition and a range that'll let you fire. You know, if you can afford all that, I don't see why you can't own an A10 Warthog. Now, you know, an A10 Warthog just fires a machine gun at God, I forgot the exact number. It's over 1,000 rounds a minute, but and then you got smart Alex out there who's like, oh, well, he's cool with having those guns. I wonder how he is about nuclear weapons. You don't have nuclear guns, man. You got bombs, nuclear bombs. And no, you can't have bombs at home. But, you know, that's just people being sarcastic. But, you know, my answer is a little sarcastic. I think that I'm pro-life. Abortion should not be used as contraception. And I'll never change my avenue on this. I'll never change my stance on this. You know, abortion should not be used as contraception. The only time that I feel abortion should even be slightly considered is if rape or incest or the risk of the mother's life or a life-sustaining permanent damage to a life-sustaining organ. The only three times when I think abortion should be okay.
I agree. Yeah.
And you know, people want to argue with me about rape and incest, and I always go back to there was a 9-year-old in Ohio who got raped, couldn't get an abortion, so she had to go to Indiana, or it was I think it was Ohio and Indiana. She had to go to Indiana when she was 10 to get the abortion. You know, I have a 9-year-old, dude. God save someone who does that to my little daughter, because I wouldn't make it to the abortion or the trial because, well, we won't go there. But we got a little bit off topic. But look, I'm pro-gun. 100%. You should be able to own whatever you want, with the exception of, you know, some stuff. You know, you don't need a cannon or bombs or whatever. Pro-life, I'm all for it. You agree with me when it comes to the only 3 exceptions comes to abortion. And I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian all my life. I was baptized. It's been a while, but I think I was 10. It was at Butler Christian Church. I don't remember the exact date. I'm a little upset with myself for not remembering, but I mean, I've been a Christian all my life. But I think we got so far off. I think I went so far, I forgot your question.
It's okay. What do you think of how's your stance on the immigration? What them bringing them to Kentucky and
That wasn't the question, but I'll answer it. I think I remember now. When it comes to your Constitution, you know, am I going to defend the Constitution? Absolutely. And in fact, I have a picture of someone's truck that says my 5-step plan to restoring constitutional government, and I agree with all 5 steps. First, it says Congress does not need experienced politicians. Congress needs people who have suffered the hardships created by those experienced politicians. 5 steps: no bills to exceed 10 pages. All bills are to be accompanied by the constitutional article authorizing that bill. No content in the bill that does not pertain to the title of the bill. All bills are to be written in layman's terms, posted online for 7 days prior to being introduced to the floor. And the last one, all bills requiring general funds must disclose the total cost for the bill, how the bill will be funded, who the beneficiaries are, who's going to pay, and then a sunset date. And a lot of people don't know what a sunset date is. It's when the bill will no longer, when a bill expires is basically what a sunset date is. So I want to live by these 5 rules as a governor. If a bill comes onto my desk and it's 20, 30 pages, like what's this one that just got passed just recently at the federal level? It's 4,000 some odd pages, 1.8 trillion. Seth, am I in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Ed,
I believe 400 some billion got sent to Ukraine.
anyway, so that's the constitutional answer for you there, Lisa. As for immigrants, so out of all of the candidates running, I am the only candidate who has worked directly with Border Patrol. 2020, I was for 9 months, I was down on the Texas-Mexico border, and I worked directly with Border Patrol. And some of their, I asked them, I was like, why do these people do this? Why do they try to come to America illegally the wrong way? They told me 3 reasons. They said, 1, they're trying to get away from corrupt government. Corrupt government just they don't know what to do. So they're trying to get away with the corrupt government. The second thing they're trying to do is the cartels. Cartels are coming after their family. Cartels have bought some of the corrupt government. So ties, that second one ties into the first one. Third reason though is because to become an American citizen costs so much money, and because it takes so long, it's just easier to come to America and then do it that way. Just be like, hey, I'm trying to become an American citizen here, legally here. In my eyes, as someone who works with their hands, if someone can make it from Mexico or even further south all the way up to Kentucky, okay, first off, they have a skill right there. I mean, they're because that takes longer than a day. So they know how to get food. They know how to take care of themselves out in the wild. They know how to take care of multiple people out in the wild. They know, some not so good stuff. They know how to hide well, whatever. But they want to work. They want to work. And I answered this for someone else, and I kind of changed their mind because of my answer. So if we catch an illegal immigrant and they're not doing anything illegal, we just catch them because, like, hey man, you got your green card, or do you have paperwork stating that you're allowed to be here? No, I don't have it. Okay, well, here's what we need to do. Take them down to the station, get a blood sample, get a spit sample, get fingerprints, get everything, biological picture, eye scan, retinal scan, teeth, just everything. Get everything we can to identify this person, and then set them up on a 2 or 3 year plan to get them to be an American citizen.
Work visa?
Yes. Well, I mean, something a little bit stricter, because at least a work visa, they did it the right way. They applied for it, they got it, then they came and they did. So this would be a little bit more stricter. Now, wherever we found them where they were working, we're going to give that business, hey, 1 strike, dude. 1 strike. And if this happens again, consequences, I don't know what that's something else entirely. But we give it, get that business, 1 strike. But we catch this illegal immigrant and we do all that stuff that I just said, and then we start having the business take taxes out and a small little bit out to help pay for, what it costs to become an American citizen. We require them to start going to a American, help them get ready for the citizenry test. So we help them become an American citizen the right way, yeah, they're in America, but we help them become an American citizen because they obviously want to work. I mean, and now if they break the law or something, yeah, we send them back. No, and if we catch them again later down the road, no second chances. That's something else that legislation would have to. I don't have all the answers on that, but if people come here and they want to work, okay, so let them work. But dude, you came here the wrong way. We need to get you back on the right track to right. So we come up with a plan to help them become legal. Not just what's your name? Okay, here's your driver's license. Here's your social security card. You're now a legal citizen. No, I mean, we can't do that. I hope that answered your question, Lisa. She's muted.
Yeah, but I don't think they should be giving all these free benefits.
No. I didn't say one thing about free benefit. I don't agree with free. I don't believe with handouts. I believe with hand ups.
Yeah, because you got vets living on homeless vets that should be out before anybody else.
Yeah. I don't believe in handouts. I believe in hand ups. Giving people chances, and I don't want that to be confused with second chances, because I do believe in second chances as well. But Bevan and Bashir both have given some rights back to felons of lesser crimes. If they do their time, okay, it's actually something that I would have done if I was governor. I would, these lesser crime things, felons, if they paid their dues, give them a second chance, let them become citizens again. And part of being a citizen is a right to vote. So
Definitely. All right, you ready, man?
oh, it's your turn.
Yeah.
10:30.
Sorry, man.
Hey, I told you I'm here till 9:30 in the morning, man. I'm good.
I'm up all the time too. But yeah, man. One thing that I think would help the state big time would be the legalization of marijuana. I think we could do a lot with that as far as sales tax from it. We could do a lot with marijuana.
My stance on marijuana, again, Eric Dieter seems to think he's the only person who's for marijuana. Blows me away sometimes. I told you earlier, dude spits in my face all the time when he says, I'm the only Northern Kentucky candidate, blah, 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 with the exception of David Cooper. And then again says, I'm the only Northern Kentucky candidate, blah, blah, blah. Dude, stop, man. I mean, I've talked to him on the phone. He's a nice guy, but I don't know. Anyways. So the legislation is trying to get rid of our income tax, which that's awesome. I would love more money in my pocket, but what they're doing is they're slowly chipping away at the income that comes to the state. So what are we going to do about that? Well, I am 100% for medical marijuana. I've watched too many studies, read too many studies, watched and read them. Medical marijuana is good. It has too many. The benefits outweigh the downside. Colorado just celebrated 10 years recently of recreational marijuana. Now, I don't know if you know this, Seth, but like we've had 4 Kentucky constitutions, and a lot of the stuff that come out of our constitution came from Pennsylvania's constitution. So if we're borrowing things from other states' constitutions, I don't see why we can't, take Colorado's marijuana laws and go, okay, let's see, how can we make this work for Kentucky? Okay, yeah. I'm all for medical and recreational marijuana being at, certain ages, 21, 25, whatever the majority of the state would want. Again, I work for you, you don't work for me.
I think it should be 18. because you're allowed to vote at 18. You should be allowed to smoke at 18.
Well, okay, 18 again. It's what the people want, Seth. That's I'm all for what the people want. So, but that would help bring, again, like you just said, that would bring income to the state like a son of a gun. And some people would be like, oh yeah, make it legal and tax the hell out of it. No, because if you tax the hell out of it, they're just gonna keep going to the opioids and the fentanyl, that they can get cheaper than marijuana. No, treat it like you would cigarettes, for the recreational side. Charge, if we start having, packs of marijuana cigarettes or whatever, $4 or $5 a pack, or I don't smoke. So whoever smokes on here, however much cigarettes are, make them, that much a pack or whatever. I'm pretty sure in Colorado you can have 6 plants and only 3 can be mature. You can't use them for, you can't bargain with them. It's got to be for personal use only. But that's just at the personal level. Now, when you get to business type level, that's a whole nother ballgame. But marijuana has so many uses other than medical benefits and other than recreational to get high and have a good time, which I've never done yet because I joined the military when I was 17. I'd never even heard of drugs before 17. So except for DARE. I was in DARE in 6th grade. I don't know if y'all remember what that was. But marijuana, marijuana and hemp can be used for clothes and rope and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then I actually have another thing here. It's called Kenaf. It's a type of hemp. It's mainly from Africa and grown in India. It can be made paper, rope, animal bedding, animal feed, clothes, automobile bodies. Kenaf seeds can be used to make vegetable oil, cosmetics, industrial lubricants, biofuel. So if people do their research, I think they would be more open to marijuana. But Seth, yeah, I'm 100% for marijuana. And mainly not for the things most people want, mainly for the good it can do medically and financially for the state.
I think it'll bring a lot of jobs to Eastern Kentucky, which is what we need. I mean, it's not
Western
going to bring
Kentucky
it
is
up
mainly
big.
agricultural, so it would bring a lot of jobs to Western Kentucky too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to bring it up big time, but every
No.
job helps here in Eastern Kentucky. It would give us a little increase, and if it would possibly help with broadband internet a little bit too, because bringing more jobs here and stuff.
Heck yeah. Yep.
If we got broadband internet, we get more companies like Sykes. We have Sykes here in Hazard, Kentucky. We get more companies like that.
What's stocks?
Sykes.
Sykes. What's Sykes?
It's they do like with Intuit QuickBooks, like insurance type stuff. It's
Okay.
yeah, they use broadband internet and stuff.
Well, yeah, they need that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's brought a lot of jobs here, man. Sykes has. So yeah.
good. Yeah, actually, I got a lot of odds and ends jobs that I think we could use in Eastern and Western Kentucky. I mean, facilities, medical facilities that just hold. Again, this is off the wall stuff, but I'm as a leader, you're supposed to be able to bring ideas to the table, and no matter how crazy they are, but whatever, no matter how crazy they are, bring them to the table. And if they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. And if they need the help of the round table to make it a great idea, then by all means do it. One of the things that I said is there's a national rape kit backlog. So let's educate people in the Eastern or Western Kentucky, I don't care where, one of the places, some place that needs the jobs the most. Let's educate these people on how to process a rape kit properly and, get it back to where it needs to go so that there's not a backlog of rape kits nationally. Now, I know there's a whole chain of custody, stuff you got to do with their legalities and stuff. Obviously, I'd want to work around that legally to make it to where we can do that, but that's just an idea. Another idea is, so placentas, after a baby's born, the placenta still has stem cells in it. So let's start saving these stem cells in a facility that, freezes them or medically does whatever to keep them, and either use them for science or use them for, scientists have used stem cells to grow body parts, so that, someone loses a whatever, they can regrow it. So let's build a medical facility to hold these things. This KNAF that I was talking about earlier, the only thing that UK did a study on it, and the only bad thing they found on it was, if we don't have a process facility close. If we had a process facility close, it'd be a major crop in Kentucky. So let's put up a process facility on the eastern and the western side of the state. And so I don't know if you know this or not, but you're not legally supposed to bring trees and plants and stuff from other states into another state. You're just not supposed to do that. It could wreck the ecosystem, mess with the ecosystem. So, have a process facility on the eastern and the western part of the state, and work with the federal government to do something to where we can have process plants be used from other parts of other states. All these ideas are just, they're there to try to help the state. They're not ludicrous or stupid or idiotic. I want to help my state, and I'm going to do whatever I can to do to help it legally. And I want to serve the people honorably. So I'm not going to cut corners. I'm not going to cheat or whatever. But those are just a few, small ideas that could help out. But I've got,
Gambling would also help. That's been
I don't have that on my website, but I've been pro either A, casino, or B, sports betting. One of the two or both. I don't care. Just
We need
something.
both, definitely.
Something. Now, a lot of people say that casinos help aid stealing people. Well, the sex trafficking and stuff. If that's the case, then obviously let's put in some security. Let's put in some security procedures, that casinos have to follow to try to help prevent that, But yeah, I don't have it on my website. I need to actually do a rehaul on my website. I've been sitting down and jotting notes down throughout the day the last few weeks, and that's definitely been on one of my notes, is making sports betting or casinos a thing. A lot of people don't want that, though. A lot of Republicans don't want that, but it's like your fellow Republican leaders right now are chipping away at the state's income. So what's their answer for that? Oh, they're gonna tax more services. This House Bill 8 that came through. So I did an interview on Ask the Politician. It's a YouTube video thing, and the guy's really nice. Name's Kevin Mena. He's a really cool guy. I was really honored that he would have me on a show, just like I'm honored to be on your show tonight. But I don't know. I got so many ideas busting through my head. Casinos and sports betting's definitely I've been okay with it. I'm for it, because you keep getting rid of money of the state, how are we going to fund stuff like the pension that's 45 billion in debt right now?
Definitely. Another thing that anybody that I've heard just from local people, and a lot of people don't talk about it in the state, but a lot of people go to Tennessee to buy fireworks and shoot them in Tennessee and stuff because they have some fireworks that are legal in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, I know that I've known people who went to other states to get fireworks and brought them back to Kentucky to sell, and I may or may not have bought some off of them. I wanted the good stuff. I wanted the booms. I'm military. I like the artillery. I mean, as a combat engineer, I've blown stuff up. Yeah, I've blown up 25-pound shape charges. So they're fun. They're awesome. They're great. I don't know enough about that subject, Seth. I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough about that subject. But I know up here in Cincinnati, we have Rossi Fireworks who makes fireworks for the WVN Fireworks. I don't know if they make the ones for the Thunder in Louisville or whatever it's called. But I don't see why we can have fireworks in Tennessee that we can't have in Kentucky. So yeah, I mean, with someone sets something in front of me and they give me the pros, cons, and it's not going to matter. I mean, I'm sure every year we probably catch maybe a handful of people sneaking in fireworks in the state, and that probably brings in probably $50,000 if that, to the state in fines. So why? Just allow it.
Absolutely. And it could bring more money to the state.
Well, yeah.
All about bringing more money, man.
We need to do something. Their current legislation has really screwed us on the Kentucky's pension. Like I said, we're 45 billion in debt, man, on that. And our property taxes are going towards cost of living adjustments. They're going towards, so there's something called pension spiking. I don't know if you know what that is, but basically we'll use the teachers as an example. And I'm not dissing on the teachers. Okay. When I say this, it's just something that the teachers do and it needs to stop. So a 30-year teacher who retires at 30 years, if they have a backlog of sick days that they haven't used, we'll say 100 days. I don't know. Basically what they do is they cash those in, and that becomes one of their really good years, and that bumps up their pension a little bit. Well, that pension, it's called a pension spike, and we don't have enough in the fund to cover that. So they've been using property taxes. They used $579 million in April to pay for benefits from pension spiking and from cost of living adjustments. 579 million. That's absolutely ludicrous. Back in 2000, there's 8 pensions. Some people don't know how many pensions are in the state pension fund. There's 8. Now I know that KPPA only does like 5, and they only keep up with 5. But let's see, where's my paperwork at? I got it here somewhere. Here we go, right here. So this ain't it. Oh, there it is. So you got the Kentucky Employee Retirement System, hazard and non-hazard. You have the county employee retirement system, hazard and non-hazard. Then you got state police, the teacher. Then you got the legislation and the judicial. Theirs are over, the legislature's retirement plan is over 100% funded. The judicial's retirement plan is 94.7% funded. Their retiree health benefits, over 250% funded. I don't know. I don't know if you can see all that. Let's see here. So to the left of my finger, follow the left of my finger, the first number, that's part of their retiree health, or I mean, that's their retiree pension that's funded. The next number is their retiree health benefit that's funded. Why is theirs over 100% funded and the Kentucky Employment Retirement System non-hazard is only 16.8% funded? What kind of horse crap is that? Hey, I cannot stress to you all how much I am just a regular person. So I may cuss and I apologize. That's not very politician of me, but I am not a politician. But you know, in 2000, the pensions were 140% funded. Everyone had enough money. But what the legislation did back then is they started adding benefits without checking to see if we had the money to cover it. And then they started implementing the benefits without checking to see if we had the money to cover it. Do you know there's like 6 or 7 legislators right now that make 6-digit pensions? They're at home, they're sitting at home right now, getting a check every month that totals 6 digits at the end of the year. And you got Kentucky citizens out there working 3 jobs, barely making ends meet. Now, I'm not saying that's the legislator's fault, but that's not right. And I can get into that, but it's already 10:45, and I will straight talk about that till midnight. And doing that would only hit a fraction of what's messed up. So I'd love to answer more questions if anyone's got them, or, you know, Seth, if you got one, or if you got any comments.
I would like to know what we can do about AEP because they're overcharging people.
What is it?
The American Electric Power Company here, they're overcharging people really bad.
Okay, AEP. Let me write that down, Lisa, because I don't know you said that the issue is they're overcharging people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, how do you know this? Like, why do you say this?
They admitted to it.
Are you kidding me?
No, they admitted to it. Overcharging every Eastern Kentucky citizen for a month. It's on Facebook.
There was that.
Wow, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm probably gonna do it tomorrow, but I will look into that.
There's an 84-year-old lady on a fixed income. Her electric bill is $1,100 and some for 1 month.
Wow.
And about everybody around here, their electric bill's up to $1,000 for a month. And people can't.
And this is in Eastern Kentucky where you guys are like scraping pennies together.
Right.
What's AEP stand for? American Electric?
Yeah, American Electric Power.
I'll send you that. I'll send you the link where they admitted to it. It was on the news, WIMT, and all that. It was last year.
Okay. Yeah, please do that. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, and thanks, Seth, for bringing that up.
Absolutely. Harvey, I seen you unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah, so did I. I was about to say someone else did.
I just think appreciate the time and the opportunity you getting on here to deal with what people's issues, and we need more people like you to do that, you know, to make the people really know what's going on. And I just want to thank you for that.
Harvey, you're more than welcome, man. And my website has my phone number, but I'll give it out to you, Marcus, and Lisa right now. And you feel free to pass it out to your friends. Feel free to pass it out to complete strangers. But my phone number is 859-322-4154. 859-322-4154. Call me, text me. I'm really active on Messenger on Facebook. But I mean, I've said that several times. I want to be the most bipartisan, transparent governor that the state's ever had. And I want to be the governor who will answer your phone call, to answer your text, answer your emails, answer your messenger, answer your Twitter, whatever. I don't tweet much. I need to tweet more, but I want to be the most accessible governor any state in the United States has ever had.
You got
Well,
any? Sorry, Harvey. Go ahead.
No, I said I was just glad you can give me the number later, Seth. I was just going to tell him that I he don't know, but I coached you. You're one of my players and one of my biggest buddies. So I'm glad to be on here with you.
Well, I'm glad you joined.
I appreciate it.
You got any like upcoming campaign dates? I know you're gonna be here in Eastern Kentucky campaigning door to door, right?
Yeah, don't know when yet. Me and you's going to get together and we're going to come up with a weekend or two where I can come to Eastern Kentucky and hit a couple places. As of right now, my next big event will be January 9th. I'll be in Estill County at the Estill County Women's Republican meeting. On January 14th, I will be in Bowling Green. And those are the two closest dates right now.
Definitely. I'll definitely have you back on as well, man. Definitely.
Oh, well, yeah, Marcus and Lisa and Harvey, get more people on here.
Absolutely. Definitely, man. We'll definitely campaign Knott County for sure.
Well, one thing that I've not done, and you'll see this here at the end of the month. I haven't raised $10,000. I am relying on interviews like this. I am relying on Facebook. I am relying on after the holidays, I am going to start knocking on doors and getting my name out there. But, it's really hard for me to ask for money because I know how people are struggling right now. And I feel bad. I feel guilty asking people for money. But, Marcus, Lisa, Harvey, Seth, I mean, if you guys have a few dollars that you could send my way, again, go to Cooper, FORKY, .com, cooperforky.com, hit that donate button, tell your friends. I could really use it. I bought 100 signs. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to tell everybody. Every single part of my campaign has been small business. I've not asked one big business for anything in my campaign. Now I know that's a double-edged sword. I know that, I could get 100 signs for $500 from a big company, but instead I paid $700 to a small business because one, it was like, hey man, I need 50 more signs. Hey, I need 100 more signs. Same thing with the shirts. The shirts where I get my shirts from is a veteran-owned business. She's one of my good friends, and I can call her up like that and be like, hey, I need 20 shirts. I need 50 shirts like as soon as possible. She's like, all right, cool. I'll have them to you in 3 days. So you can't do that with big businesses. And I'm happy to pay a little bit more for that friendship too. So
You never know, man. You can win. I only spent $200 on mine.
exactly. I mean, I hate to bring up another candidate, but Mike Harmon, our state auditor, he said that for his auditor campaign, he only raised I think he said 60 or 70,000 bucks. I could be wrong on that, but his opponent raised like 500,000. And Mike won. So, I'm not relying on the money. I'm relying on people like me in this state because we outnumber the rich. We outnumber the powerful. So I'm relying on you guys to just go out and vote for me. You don't have to, don't get brainwashed by the signs. I'm going to get drowned out by signs. I'm going to get drowned out by radio, TV ads, commercials, Facebook commercials. I'm going to get completely drowned out here in a couple of weeks. But I hope people don't get bought by all that stuff.
You know, I've got another thing I'm going to tell you about. You was talking about door to door. That is one big thing that really you really need to go out and meet people. And the internet is good to do that. And Med Seth, you know, we talked about his campaign as far as sign goes. I've always said the sign will never vote for you, it's the people.
Yeah.
Your sign will never vote for you, it's the people. And if I'm for you, it ain't gonna matter about the sign. I'm gonna vote for you, I'm killing you.
Yeah, I'm planning on starting to knock on doors here, starting in January. So
We'll come see Harvey. Harvey helped me out a lot on my campaign. We'll be in Knott County. We'll go Perry, Letcher, go everywhere.
awesome. I love it. I dig it.
Definitely. I can definitely help you a lot here in Knott County. Definitely.
Well, I'm counting on you, Seth. So you're on my list of people to thank already on my book. I got a list of people here.
Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, man. Appreciate you taking the time while you're not being on. Appreciate everybody being here. Everybody have a good night and God bless.
Thanks, Seth.